All right, y'all. So welcome to the secret code Dark Side of Dionysus. Now, I'm going to tell you something interesting. After I had originally given the secret code name out, I came to the realization that Dionysus is actually attached to the Fool card in tarot, Aryan energy. And Aries in the zodiac signs is one, the very beginning, but it's primal pursuit. The light side being leadership qualities, being active, it's athleticism, it's healthy competition, right? Where the dark side of Dionysus is hedonism and excess and power competition in a very unhealthy way. And so when we're in the Fool's energy, taking a leap of faith on something, the Fool, you either take the leap and realize that it was never that far of a jump to begin with, and you end up on solid ground sooner than you realize, or you literally plummet to your own despair, right? Your own downfall there. The Fool can go both ways, as Uranian energy would give it. And so dealing with this secret code name, the dark side of Dionysus, I already have this sensing that we're going to be addressing the darker primal tendencies and how they need to elevate into the light of those attributes. So let's get into the message. We're going to look at pre-eclipse and post-eclipse, where you are going into it that is significant to where you are heading after it. And then we're going to pull a Kali oracle for guidance and insight into why, so that you do not repeat the past. Right? You would face the feminine and what it is that you truly desire to receive from experience, right? To receive from life. So Spirit, please, insight into the pre-eclipse energy. Where are we before this eclipse that is significant to now? We've got the 5 of coin, the Knight of Coins, the Knight of Pentacles, the King of Wands, what else? The Ace of Cups, and the 7 of Pentacles, give me one more, or 2 more. The Chariot reversed, and the Page of Pentacles reversed. Bottom of the deck is the 2 of Wands. Top of the deck is the 4 of Swords. All right. All right. Dark side of Dionysus. Where you were before. The 4 of Swords indicates a space of transforming through mental rest. Transforming through mental rest. And with the 2 of Wands on the bottom, I think that your inner child was looking at the world and observing the world with a sense of fascination about what could be, you know, being in this position where you are and having all of these ideas about what life could be like from where you are, right? And then your more experienced adult mind stepped in with a state of fear to take the inner child off the ledge, right? Really, and we've got the 10 of cups inside the storm under that. All of the potential storms, right, that could take place, and seizes the inner child from the ledge and starts to look at the world from the adult mind, right? Because the inner child is innocent before all of the damage and trauma that life can put on the self. And then you start looking at it through the lens of trauma, right? The traditional Rider-Waite Two of Wands shows the adult glancing over and holding the world and what could be through the lens of a battered mind, right? A mind who is not naive to the shadow of life. And I think that you, with the Five of Coins is about being loyal, right? Loyal and a companion in soul, as the dog looking at the light in the window, you know, and it came up in another reading, feeling the loss of someone, you know, whether they are or aren't literally deceased. They used to light a candle in the window of a home who has witnessed a loss, right? They light the candle in the window. And I feel like you experienced a great loss to someone who you were very loyal to, someone who you felt like you were a companion for, a true companion, and you lost them, right? Doesn't even have to be romantic. It could be family. You know, if you were very close to your mother, or very close to your father, or someone, you know, and you lost them, and you were very loyal to them. They were close to you, right? They taught you and spent time with you, and you became who you are because of them, right? You became who you are because of them, right? The dog has an owner, and the owner teaches them how to be. It teaches the dog everything. It teaches them about companionship. It teaches them about being loyal no matter what, right? I mean, God knows even dogs that are abused are still loyal to their owners, you know? But you experience this loss. And what happened is, with the Knight of Pentacles, you, in your journey, stumbled upon this valuable gold coin, right? Just sitting there in the trees. You reached up and grabbed this opportunity, this golden opportunity. And the divine came in and gave you this wand, because you've been put in a high position. When you grabbed that golden opportunity, you were put in a high position, and it's a high manifestation seat with the King of Wands. The King of Wands is very self-motivated, though. It is the only king in the deck that is truly self-motivated. All of the other kings take into consideration other people, where the King of Wands does not. Neither does the Queen of Wands. They are very independent of each other. The King of Wands has a certain vision, and it is definitely a self-motivated vision. And so the divine gives you this wand and says, what do you want to create? You've seized this golden opportunity. What do you want to create? And the answer was love with the Ace of Cups. That's what you wanted to create, right? The dream. You wanted to create the overflow, right? You wanted to pour out love. And yet, with all of the work that you've put in so far, it's not yielding a result with the Seven of Coin. And you feel like you're constantly having to pull away the weeds. You're constantly having to work on whatever this is in order to reap a certain harvest, and it's not moving forward. Either you or someone else are not truly taking control from a divine standpoint with the Chariot of the situation. And the seeds that you were trying to plant aren't really growing, right? The Page of Pentacles is dropping the ball, right? It's dropping the ball, losing the opportunity, right? You had picked it up here, but you've kind of fumbled along the way and downgraded from a knight going up to a king and then stumbling back towards a page energy, right? Where you're dropping the ball. And I think this is where it's happening, because you're seeing through a lens of trauma and not through the untainted lens of the inner child, you know, who looks forward to things with trust. You know, the big difference between children and adults is that children trust. They have blind faith and trust in people, where adults who've experienced trauma do not trust, and they do not have faith that things will work out, because they've learned that sometimes things don't work out and sometimes people aren't trustworthy. I think the problem is right here, where you went into it with this lens of trauma instead of being or moving forward with fresh eyes, right? From beginner's mind and beginner's heart. I think you took your trauma with you, which is why we saw this kind of downward spiral where you are, right? There's no movement. There's a whole lot of extra work being put on it, and an unwillingness to let the divine steer you, right? And that's essentially dropping the ball. So let's see where you are post-eclipse. Let's see where you are post-eclipse. What is your divine feminine energy within doing for you to help realign you with what feels good? Where are you post-eclipse? What does after this eclipse look like? For the dark side of Dionysus. All right, so we've got the Wheel of Fortune. The Ten of Coin. The Four of Swords, out twice now. The Five of Pentacles, out twice now. the Two of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, and the Four of Cups reversed. Bottom of the deck is the Ace of Pentacles. Top of the deck is the Ace of Wands. All right. All right. Post-eclipse. With the salamander and the Japanese beetle. One preys on and eats the other. And Japanese beetles, if you look at the background here, it's a rose garden, right? It's this huge wall of roses, right? With the archway, it has all these roses on it, right? Well, if you've ever had a garden, the Japanese beetle destroys the roses. Japanese beetles will eat them and destroy them. And I think that the divine is inspiring you to get some kind of help to what would essentially ruin your paradise, right? The garden. Because fortune's wheel is turning. And you've got a lot of money sitting in front of you. All right, there's this huge treasure chest of money on this card. And there's your inner child looking at all the value inside the chest. And here's the dog, right? We've got the dog here and we've got it there. So the dog that didn't know where home was, right? Because home is where the heart is now looking at all of this wealth. And your mind is still tired. I think that your heart is kind of grieving who you were when you were at your best. When you were in this King of Pentacles, solid, stable, reliable, consistent, enduring kind of energy, right? With the Chariot, when you were actually more in divine alignment, even if you were with the wrong people. I think your heart is grieving who you were. Because where you're at now, you've got a lot of baggage. The Five of Pentacles here, you've got a lot more baggage than most people. The trauma lens, right, that you're seeing through, it's almost like your better version, you laid it to rest. And now you've got all of this baggage instead. So much so that it probably even shows in your physical body. Because if you think about Dionysus and its light, right, we were talking about Aries energy and being in their prime, right? Athleticism, healthy competition, right? Physique. It's all a matter of these leadership qualities, right? These highly valued leadership qualities. And I think that you may have let yourself go in a lot of ways. That the baggage that you're carrying on your soul manifested in the body. And you might not feel like you have what it takes to anchor in home. That feeling of home, that home being where the heart is. You might not feel like you actually have what it takes to anchor it in. Like you have too much, it's like you feel like you have too much baggage to truly be happy or be loved. We're talking about a pest in the subconscious, right? You have too much baggage to be loved. That's a subconscious pest. And I think what's going to happen is if you juggle your reality with your subconscious fears about yourself, your baggage for too long, you're going to start to see people take the boat, right? And the ship has sailed kind of thing. That you would find yourself in this kind of service to the divine when you really want the divine to be serving you, where you would be seeing other people get the wish but not necessarily being able to indulge in the wish yourself. That you would become indulgent in other things. Which essentially, you know, this Four of Cups, he takes the cup from the divine and pours it out. He pours it out. Because the Four of Cups is typically a missed opportunity. I think you want other people to fill your cup because your cup is excruciatingly empty. You want other people to fill your cup and make you feel worthy, but you don't actually feel worthy, which is where a lot of that baggage comes in. You don't feel worthy. You've got a lot of unprocessed trauma. And it's costing you, it's causing you to drop the ball. You don't feel up to par. You don't feel like you can compete. You want other people to fill your cup, even if you're pouring it out. You want someone to fill your cup, and after you pour it out and waste it, you want them to fill it up again to prove that you're worthy. But from the eyes of other people, if they're going to fill your cup and you're just going to pour it out and waste it, why the fuck would they keep filling your cup? They're not going to keep proving to you that you're worthy. If you don't believe it, there's nothing they can do to make you believe it. Nothing. There is no amount of love that they can give and you could waste that would convince you that you're worthy. Your baggage, your trauma has convinced you that you are not worthy. You're just literally wasting the love of other people then. You're dropping the ball. So I really think if you can pull in the quote unquote big guns, right? The big energy to help eliminate the pests in your psyche, that you should do that, because the universe is inspiring you to get help, to deal with the subconscious traumas that you have not processed through because they're wreaking havoc in what you are trying to create. You've got unprocessed trauma. You laid the better parts of yourself, your better days, to rest, and are walking around with all of this baggage, wanting other people to fill you up, but you've got holes and they can't fill you up. They can't make you believe that you're worth it. You're not convinced. But that's because you don't believe you're worth it. You haven't convinced yourself of that yet. So you're setting other people up for failure, making them prove their love to you. You're setting yourself up and them up for failure. You've got to work through the trauma. You've got to really, really focus on your healing, and you're going to need help to do that. You're going to need help to do that. What is the guidance, please? You're just sabotaging the shit out of yourself. Yeah, it's like you want other people to serve you, but to what end? How many times are you going to waste it? Mahakali. Card number 16. Let's read for you. Mahakali. Her magnificence steadies the anxious mind and reassures the heart of the empowering grace that arises through trust in her. Attempting to fathom the wisdom behind the workings of the Divine Mother would be like trying to cram the entire ocean into a teacup. Such wisdom is vast, and our perspective is limited. Yet we don't need to understand divine will to benefit from it. Better to allow her creativity, resourcefulness, and unlimited vision to take effect in our lives, bringing us every grace necessary for our blessed fulfillment. First of the 10 wisdom goddesses, or Mahavedyas, is the 10-armed Mahakali. She is laden with her sacred weapons. Many arms and weapons symbolize the capacity of the Divine Mother to work beyond human limitations. The contrast is not intended to diminish the dignity of our humanity. Humans have a tremendous capacity for heroism, kindness, love, grace, and generosity. Rather, it is an encouragement to engage with the divine with perfect trust in our hearts. Multiple weapons represent multiple creative powers to conquer multiple issues. More than 2 arms indicate that divine workings are not limited by our human perspectives or capacities, and this is reassuring. The divine can accomplish works beyond what would be possible through human efforts alone. Mahakali means great Kali. She is known as the guardian of the cosmic order, the one who selects the timing for all unfoldment. Nothing can be accomplished without the necessary preparation, and not before it is the right time for it. Such process and timing are determined according to higher wisdom, capable of assessing and meeting the spiritual needs of all beings simultaneously. We cannot know what the order of events must be to accomplish the Divine Mother's purpose. In hindsight, we may attain glimpses of her unfolding genius, but to live in harmony with her requires us to trust in what is unfolding and to work with that, even when events seem to be going against us or we cannot see the way to succeed. How do we proceed with such trust? There is no magic to it. It is a choice we make again and again. When we sense the next step is before us, we must proceed. When we need to wait, we must wait. We do not try to force, but we tune into our hearts and sense what is guided in each moment. We allow ourselves to feel intimately known and connected with the divine as our ally. We recognize that a sequencing of certain events needs to happen. This enables lessons to be learned, so we are ready at every stage for what needs to come next. We are not being denied or blocked, we're being loved. It is protective compassion that prevents us from seeing anything other than the next one or two steps ahead. To know more is not always helpful. Although if specific knowledge would support us on our path, then we can be sure it would come to us. Well, when will that happen? Mahakali reminds us that it will be at the best time. It may be after we have acknowledged there is a problem that we need to resolve, or when we have created some mental space so an essential understanding is not lost in psychological clutter. If you have ever felt like you have your best insights after a shower or after you switch off during a yoga class or exercise session, then you have experienced how much easier it is to access inner guidance when you switch it off and empty your mind. Be here now and attend to what you can attend to now, leaving all else until the right moment is upon you. Your heart shall instinctively know that moment without needing to be told. All that is happening now is growing you toward that moment. All that had happened before has grown you into capacity for this moment. This is as it is, and Mahakali's beautiful wisdom dance as she wields the weapons needed to provide the right conditions, the right endings, the right beginnings within which the soul can flourish. Trust that what is happening now will give way to a new expression when the time is right. This will be when your readiness matches the requirements for success, and when those who can benefit from your increasing soul awakening have awoken sufficiently also. Attend to your work with determination and hope in your heart. Trust that the divine is taking care of everything else. It's asking you to be quite optimistic and in a state of a whole hell of a lot of surrender. To accept that certain things in this moment are transpiring to help you move forward. These many weapons that she wields, right? We're talking about bringing in energy to help you eliminate your pests, the trauma lens that you see through, that you're manifesting through. You don't have to do this by yourself. Mahakali is a reminder that you are not by yourself, that there are many ways to welcome in help so that you can continue to grow, so that you can create the right environment for the seed of your soul to grow. Because if you plant a seed in the fucking middle of the Antarctic, it's not going to grow. The conditions, the environmental conditions are not suitable for it to grow. But if you take the same seed and plant it in the right climate with the right amount of light, it grows. It grows really well. So you're putting in all of this effort, right? You are putting all of this effort in to try and grow something in the wrong environment, the wrong energy environment. And the wrong environment is your mental, psychological state. It's your trauma lens. You have to put in all of this extra effort, all of this extra work to make it grow, and it's still not going to grow the way you want because the conditions that you are planting your future in, the condition of yourself that you're planting your future in, are not suitable to grow the outcome that you want. It's requiring work that you can get assistance doing. You don't have to deal with it by yourself. I think you can get the wish fulfillment. I think you can allow others to fill you up. I think you can get back to this place of feeling worthy, being in the light of Dionysus energy, the light of Aryan energy. I think that you can integrate that and combat whatever these shadows are that you deal with from life sucking. Like, let's not poo-poo around it. Let's call a spade a spade. The reason why you have such a serious trauma lens is because life has sucked. And we need to work on undoing that so that life doesn't keep sucking. All right. My love and support is with you. And I have faith that whoever you have available in your life to come forward and help you will, so long as you allow it to happen. That's something that you have to choose, right? You have to be able to hold the vision and choose it and give your mind a break from all of the baggage it's been carrying in there. All right. Until we next meet, take care.